Hi everyone and welcome to this video. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Learn with Nganga Roya channel, where we always talk about data and everything data related, promoting data literacy among the people, because as you know, data has surpassed oil as the world's most valuable asset. In this video, we are going to talk about the 5 things I wish I knew before starting my data science journey. So without any further ado, let's get started. Number 1, data cleaning and pre-processing. If you're anything like me, you never like cleaning up after yourself. Nobody loves doing the dishes. But when it comes to machine learning, data cleaning is just like doing the dishes. Nobody likes it, but it's extremely important if you want to continue with the process of eating or the process of machine learning in this case. If you need a clean data set to work with, which you'll always need, you need to do data cleaning and pre-processing. And I promise you, the model that you're creating will appreciate that. That is the first part of anything. Once you get the data, after acquiring the data, the first thing you want to do is pre-processing and cleaning. By cleaning, I mean basically looking at the data, making sure it has no null values, if there is any metric issues, if there are any outlying values, extremely big values, extremely small values, how you're going to work with it. Make sure there are no, as I've said, null values. Make sure all the metrics that are there have been correctly measured. Make sure everything is correctly clean. And the pre-processing part includes the standardizing, maybe the values, normalizing the values, making sure there are certain standard scale so that your machine learning algorithm can work a little bit better, doing feature engineering to get more information about the data before embarking on machine learning. For example, if you're working with the machine learning that has title names of people included in their names, like Dr. Someone, Mr. Someone, Miss Someone, Professor Someone, and you want to use this Dr., Mr., etc. as part of the features that you want to use to train your model, you have to do all this pre-processing where you have to figure out how am I going to extract these names, etc., etc. This is extremely important because once you do this, the machine learning part is actually very small. What people don't know is that a lot of time is spent on doing the cleaning and pre-processing. I dare say 80 to 90% of the time, because you need data that is very, very correct. Also post-processing, probably doing the things like adjustment or tuning of your hyperparameters, etc. These are also very important, and also feature engineering can be done after doing the model, but all these are part of the processing of this data so that it works correctly for you. Because once you've done this, the machine learning algorithm with all the support there is and all the packages and the libraries that there are, it's a very short process. And the tuning of the hyperparameters, as long as you have figured out what you want to tune, if it's the gamma, if it's the C, according to which model you're using, supervised or unsupervised, it all depends on how you process it. The machine learning algorithm will work regardless, but the accuracy and the error metrics during the evaluation is what will determine how good your model is, and all this is tied and intertwined with the cleaning and the pre-processing part of the data. This is something that I really wish I knew before starting my machine learning journey, because I really embarked in understanding the models, etc., without really knowing how important they are. Number 2, the importance of fine-tuning and experimenting with your model. Now this is where the fun starts. Just like a mad scientist, you experiment with different techniques, different hyperparameters, and trying to see which one works. And just like a mad scientist, this experiment might blow up in your face. But no problem, you'll learn from the mistakes that you make, and you'll make a very good killer model. And also you have some good conversation starters at a party where you can say, hey, I once created a model that predicted that the world was going to end next week. Good times those ones. Experimenting and tuning hyperparameters basically means creating your model, experimenting and seeing how it is, the accuracies and the errors, then re-evaluating it, tuning hyperparameters, like if you're working with a support vector machine or support vector classifier, you can tune the gamma, the kernel, you can tune the C and try to see on a wide range using something like a grid search on a wide range of these things, how it works and how it increases the accuracy, etc. And if you're working with the random forest classifier, you can tune the N estimators, the depth, etc. And with this experimenting and fine-tuning your model, it can really work and create a very good model that can be used very effectively. So experimenting and fine-tuning your model is extremely important. Number 3, the importance of staying up to date with the latest technologies or latest developments in the field. Now things can get a little bit overwhelming here because there's always a new paper being published, there's always a new technique being developed, there's always a new library being released. Like for example, when the XGBoost came around and people's models really blew up, if you didn't keep up with what was going on, you would have really wondered how this model is working, how is this even possible, the accuracies that are coming out of certain data sets. And this is very important to keeping in touch with the latest technologies like this. You don't have to know everything, you can just concentrate on a few of them, stay up to date with concentrate on a few of them and stay up to date in them. This could really come in handy. And also you really use them to like impress people at a party. Just make sure you carry a laptop every time you go to any party so that you make sure you can open it up and show them how good you are in the new techniques that are around. That would really serve you well in socializing with people, especially non-data scientists. Number 4, the importance of collaborating and networking with other people. Because let's be honest, data science can be a pretty boring field. So especially for a beginner, because it's very overwhelming sometimes, and through collaborating and networking with other people, it can be very helpful during the process. And you can actually make a lot of friends through this. If you're learning, try and push and join communities and try your best to collaborate with other people, because that's where you will learn. And make sure that all that you're trying to do, you have a different perspective to that. And if you are learning in an institution or through online, make sure you try and have a conversation with the people that you're learning with to try and see how you can help each other or how you can learn from each other, bounce off ideas from each other. This can be extremely helpful. Plus, you can make some friends when you do this, especially if you give them the story of how you made a model that predicted that the world was going to end next week. Number 5, the importance of mathematics and statistics. I know you're thinking mathematics, statistics, but it's not that boring. It's kind of like a puzzle. If you look at it like that, it's kind of like a puzzle, and you're trying to complete this puzzle. And by understanding how these models work underneath the hood, it kind of gets really satisfying knowing what type of parameters you're tuning and why you're tuning them. It gets really good when you understand these things. And also, if you're really struggling and not understanding what's going on, just remember, at least you're not a mad scientist working with dangerous chemicals that might burn your face off. And those were the 5 things I really wish I knew before starting my machine learning journey. I hope it was informative, I'll give you some insight. And if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, throw in a like, and if you're getting to the end of the video, you're the true hero. See you in the next video. Peace. Data science can be a pretty boring. Hyper parameters. If it's